Hello. This video is to go over the functionality of the new Accessorial Approval Workbench in OTM for WestRock. WestRock has implemented new functionality in OTM to make approving and declining accessorials easier. With this new Workbench functionality, we will be discontinuing the existing accessorial approval screen. Note that this guide may show a different background color for parts of it as we are performing this in our test environment. However, the use case is the same in production. Log into OTM at tms.westrock.com and enter your username and password. Click on the Accessorial Approver Workbench to enter the menu. The Accessorial Approval Workbench can be adjusted how the panes are laid out by dragging this middle bar up or down. Typically, you're only going to have one line on the bottom, so if you adjust it to show one on the bottom and as many as 4 or 5 on the top, that's typically going to be the best way. You'll find accessorials under your umbrella of responsibilities by clicking Saved Query and locating your name or group. These all end with _INV_WB. An easy way to search for yours is to type the first couple letters of your name or the first couple characters of your group. For instance, if I type in 1101, I go straight to 1101 Payment Inquiries, and then click on your Save Search. After the system loads your saved query, you'll see the results, and this is where you can view the shipment ID, the order number, the BOL. You can see how many are loaded. In this case, there are 34 results. Across this top bar is where you'll find all of that information on the shipment and the BOL. You'll see the service provider and also the amount of the charge. And then you'll see a column for documentation. The documentation column has this triangle with an exclamation mark. That means that that accessorial has documentation loaded against it. To view additional information on the lower pane, click anywhere on one of the accessorials that's not the link all the way to the left. So anywhere from the indicator right, click on the line and it will update the bottom portion of the screen with the type of accessorial code that charge is. So for instance, this one from ROEV for $15, when we highlight it, it shows us on the bottom that this is detention destination. And these are the type of accessorial codes you may see. This is the full valid list of charges that carriers can put in. The accessorial code on the left is what you'll actually see. The middle column is a description of what that is, and the last column is whether it's a source or destination cost. If you already know that a charge is valid and don't need to research any further once you see, for instance, this one, a storage fee of $100, if you know right from this screen that is a valid charge, you can highlight the line as we did, go up to Actions, and click Approve Invoice. It'll bring up this result screen. Don't add anything into the notes or make any changes. The only thing you'll do is click Finish. And this verifies that we have now approved this line. When we come back to the page, we can click Rerun Query with this little circle arrow, and now we can see that our results have gone from 34 to 33. So once you approve or decline a charge, it should drop off your page once you rerun the query. Similarly, if you look at a charge on this page, for instance, this one $15 for detention destination, and you know immediately that it is not valid, you can follow the same steps and click Actions and Reject Invoice. When you click Reject, you'll see this box with a note. We ask that you please leave a note for the carrier so that they can know why you have declined this charge. This will be on their weekly report, so when they see that a charge is declined, it's best to leave them a note so that they know why. And then we'll click OK. And this is confirmation that we have rejected the invoice. When we go back to the screen, if we click Rerun Query again, we'll see our results go from 33 to 32, so same thing with declining, it should drop off your screen. If you need to edit a charge, if a carrier has entered the wrong amount, highlight the line that you need to edit on the top portion, and then in the bottom, for instance, this one is a $500 lumper charge from QRK1, we can go over here to this clickable link and right-click it and go to Edit. on the edit screen, we'll see amount and reason changed. So we can adjust the amount that it should be. Say for instance, this one should not be 500, it should be 300. And then we'll go over here to the reason changed and just give a brief description. Again, the carrier will see that this was adjusted, and so we like to leave a reason so that they know when they get their report. Once you're done here, you can go up to the top and click Finished. You'll get confirmation that it was successfully modified. Now if we go back to the main workbench, we can refresh the query. And now we can see this charge from QRK1 is for $300 for lumper. And from here we can go and approve the charge as we usually would. And this is approving it for the $300 that we changed it to. If a charge has documentation, you'll see this little triangle in the documentation column. To view that documentation, you'll highlight the line that you want to view, go over to the clickable link all the way to the left, and right-click, go to Edit, and on this screen you'll see up at the top Documentation Link tab, go to that tab, and then there's a link here for the documentation. It should be clickable, so if you click on it, it will open up the PDF form of whatever documentation the carrier has loaded. So once we see that documentation, if it's valid, we'll come back and approve the same way that we have on others. If we need to look at shipment times the carrier has loaded onto the shipment, for instance, arrival at pickup, arrival at delivery, departure at pickup, departure at delivery, all those times, we can go to the top portion, right click on the clickable portion all the way to the left, and go to shipment times. On this results page, you'll see the shipment ID and the SCAC, and then all of the times that are associated with it. So these are the times that the carrier has loaded. So some locations like to use this to verify detention, see what time they arrived, all that kind of stuff. But if you prefer to use your local logbook or require documentation for detention, please let the carrier know.